In math, there are some fundamentally important concepts, and one of them is the proportional equation. And the proportional equation is something that we use all the time. So the proportional equation is what we use whenever we have any kind of proportional relationship, or in other words, a times and divide relationship. And if we take a look at the proportional equation in this equivalent fraction here, we can see that there's this times and divide relationship that goes left and right and also up and down. So this equivalent fraction, 3 over 4 equaling 15 over 20, we can see that as we go from 3 to 15, there's a times by 5 relationship. And on the bottom, there is a times by 5 relationship going from left to right to get from 4 to 20. And if it's times one way, the opposite has to be divide. Okay, so we have this times and divide relationship, and it's really important that we keep track of the direction of this relationship, because lots of people have this sense, but they're not too sure whether we times or divide, especially when the numbers become awkward. So these are nice numbers, but when we have awkward numbers, we still are relying on this times and divide relationship. We just have to be more careful about the directionality of our times and divide. There's also the same times and divide relationship that goes up and down. So if I multiply 0.4 by 0.75, I get 3. I have to do the same on the other side. And going in the opposite direction, it's going to be division. So if I do 3 divided by 0.75, I get 4. And same on the other side. So this proportional relationship is really important, and we use this all the time. And even when we have awkward numbers, we're going to use this exact same relationship. The tendency sometimes is that when we have awkward numbers is that we start going back to add and subtract, and we don't want to do that. We want to make sure that if it's a proportional relationship, we're only going to use multiplication division, even if we have these awkward numbers. The last thing I'm going to say is that if we want to find our multipliers, we divide. So we find multipliers by division. So if I want to find the multiplier, I can do 15 divided by 3, and that gives us a multiplier of 5. There is in fact another multiplier that we could use. If I do 3 divided by 15, that gives me 0.2. And that would mean that we can multiply by 0.2 instead of dividing by 5 to get the same result. Okay, so but either way, to find our multiplier, we divide. Same here. If I want to find our multiplier 0.75, I do 3 divided by 4, and that gives us our 0.75 multiplier. We could do 4 divided by 3, and it gives us a little bit more awkward multiplier. But instead of dividing by 0.75, 4 divided by 3 is about 1.3 repeating, and multiplying by 1.3 repeating is actually the same as dividing by 0.75. So we have to be clear on when we get our multiplier and divisors, we have to make sure that we know the direction of the multiplication and the direction of the division.